They'll want to hold the ball, and they're going to have to put him on the foul line because it's under 35 now.
They want to get Appleby room, and they're not going to give him any room. And there's the kick ball against Kyle Weaver.
15 left. I wouldn't be surprised if Romar takes a timeout here. There it is.
Actually, I think it came from the other end, but you're exactly right. Somebody needed to say something.
I think he pointed to Washington.
Full timeout with a half-minute remaining. Washington with 15 to shoot, and they need to do something. They trailed the Cougs by a deuce.
I heard that eHarmony was the place to go. New Year's Eve day, I said, I'm ready for eHarmony.
We've been waiting a long time to find each other. We were ready to start our lives together.
This new year, put falling in love at the top of your list.
Busiest day of the year, December 31st. That was our very first date.
Make this the year that it happens for you. It all starts with your personality profile. And right now you can review your matches absolutely free. eHarmony.com.
Cougars have allowed the Huskies only 3 points in the last 5.5 minutes. Get it done on the boards. Brought to you by Dunn Lumber. And tonight, John Brockman with 17 off the glass to go with 13 points. Washington with 36 rebounds to 21 for Washington State. All right, out of this timeout, what are the Huskies going to run here?
Well, when you go to Brockman, they double team him, and they're also covering Appleby. Maybe you want to go to Tim Morris, or maybe you want to go, to a secondary guy. Morris has been very hot here. Dentman even on a penetration.
The bullet to Brockman, put it on the floor, blocking foul against Aaron Baines.
So that instead of throwing it to Brockman in the post, they isolate him and give him a one-on-one facing the basket.
That's 4 on Baines. Brockman tonight 1 out of 2 at the free throw line. Washington has missed 7 of 11 foul shots here.
Well, Brockman he's gotten out of that stoop a little bit. He doesn't bend over as much lately. We'll see what he does in pressure here. Will he go back to his old style, or will he stand straighter and shoot it? Well, a little more bend than I saw taking practice, but he makes it.
And has a chance to tie the game with his second. Washington's last 9 possessions, 1 out of 9 from the floor, 2 out of 4, make it 2 out of 5 on Charity. Kyle Weaver is fouled as he comes away. And Huskies also in those 9 possessions turned the ball over twice.
And big surprise, who gets the big rebound? Mr. Big Play for Washington State.
Well, all he's got tonight, 10 points and 8 rebounds, and that is a classic Kyle Weaver game. It's a classic Washington State game.
And an uncharacteristic 4 for 12 for Kyle. So, on a bad game, he still really helps you win.
Well, when you're beating each other up defensively, sometimes the numbers are going to suffer. Weaver from the free throw line, 85% on the season. 1 out of 3 tonight.
And the one he missed was the front end of a one-on-one. So that hurts you. Now they're putting themselves into a position where a 3 could win it instead of having to get a 3 to tie it.
By the skin of the surface of the basketball. Yeah, see, that's the other thing. These guys, they're so confident and they're so controlled. You see, he's like, well, what's the matter with me? But that's the way you don't see Washington State choke. These guys are composed. They're so well drilled. You saw them yesterday at practice. I've seen them at shoot around a bunch. Bob, there is a method to everything that this coaching staff does. And so when you get into tight situations like that, it's kind of like, all right, we've been here before.
Right. And yeah, I think Tony Bennett does a great job. And he's a player's coach, too. The guys love playing for him. I don't think he overdoes anything. I think he covers everything that needs to be covered. He's very inventive, and he's a very good coach at giving his players confidence.
He's got a great staff. And when you consider the guys around him like Ron Sanchez, and Mike Heidemann, and also Matt Woodley, and of course the guy who's been with him forever, Ben Johnson. They're well. Woodley this morning is working with his bigs on inbound plays for tight games in the final 30 seconds of the game.
Well, they may have to use that.
So, there you go.
Interesting thing now. Okay, their Cougars are playing defense, 2-point lead. He's got Baines out there with 4 fouls. Do you take him out, or do you put one of your shot blockers on the bench? He wants to try and win this right now. He's not thinking about what's going to happen in overtime. Let's go win this ball game. And there's one of the assistant coaches is telling him right now, don't get that 5th foul.
So you got Baines, Lowe, Weaver, Cowgill, Harmeling. For the Cougars, Appleby, Dentman, Pondexter, Brockman, and Morris for the Huskies. Ryan Appleby with a couple of big 3-point shots. But he's been bottled up, 2 of 7 shooting overall.
And Harmeling comes in to defend a bigger Morris. Chesney also has 4, so they want to get him out of there. There's isolation again.
Brockman goes to work, and Baines forces a tough shot. Weaver to Lowe. Kyle Weaver will go back to the free throw line as the Huskies are forced to foul with 15 seconds remaining. Looked like they had what they wanted.
They did. Brockman made the spin move, but all night the bigs for Washington have done a great job of keeping their arms straight up. We'll see if Baines went. They went at Baines. They went at the guy with 5 fouls. Keeps his hands straight up. Did a nice job.
And Brockman, 6 out of 18. A great example of how hard everybody has had to work for what they've gotten here tonight.
Well, they have. They've double-teamed Brockman a lot and taken away a lot of his really effective one-on-one moves down low and made him come out and do some things he's not used to doing. But he still had a great game.
Okay.
17 rebounds.
Sorry about that. I'm going over the point at the monitor. -6, the Huskies in free throws. Make it -7.
Yeah, and when you're playing against a good team, you need to make free throws.
And now it's a 2-possession game, and the Huskies going to have to hurry. And look at Lowe forcing Appleby way outside, and Appleby lost control of the ball and did everything he could